Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video from Next Goal Wins. Today we're talking about Raheem Sterling. He's just completed his move to Manchester City for £49 million. We're going to talk what kind of value that is, if he's overrated, underrated, what he'll do to Man City and what he could bring. Yeah, like I said, today we're talking Raheem Sterling. He's just joined Manchester City for £49 million, the highest fee ever paid for an English player. One of the highest fees the Premier League's ever seen. Only Fernando Torres able to top it, and Angel Di Maria. Anyway, it's one of those signings. Personally, I think it's a fee astronomically above what he deserves. I mean, £49 million for a player who's never proven himself. He's not won anything. He's not topped goal scoring charts. He's never done anything of massive significance. To command a fee like this, he should be a brilliant player. Football's going the wrong way if we pay £49 million for Raheem Sterling. I mean, you look at players like Danny Ings, who are on a free, Charlie Austin. Charlie Austin's a prime example. £15 million being talked about for Charlie Austin. Proven in the Premier League scoring goals. Yes, I know Raheem Sterling isn't a striker, but Sterling's just not proved himself, and he hasn't been brilliant. I mean, I've seen a lot of Liverpool games, and he's one of those kind of media favourites who gets hyped up because he's English and young, and I've never seen him have a brilliant game. Yes, he's had good games, especially last season, the season before last, I should say, with Suarez when we finished second, but last season, dramatic dip in form, poor in a lot of the big games. It's finished on 7 goals, I think it was, which isn't a massively good return. He's not someone should be paying £49 million for. If it was £20 million, fine. £20 million, he's an up-and-coming player, he could develop, but £50 million, you expect proven talent who you know you're going to get goals from or assists from. I mean, let's look at who Man City have signed recently for fees lower than this. They've signed Aguero for lower. They've signed David Silva for lower. Yaya Toure for lower. They've signed all these players for lower amounts of money who had proven themselves more at this stage in their career than Raheem Sterling has. Because he's English and because he's from Liverpool, it seems to command this fee that I just can't understand. I can't understand how Man City fans can get behind it. Yes, I know people saying ridiculous stuff like, oh, well, the owner could earn 140 grand a minute or whatever, so by 2 p.m, if he woke up at 7 a.m, he'd have paid it off. But that's ridiculous. I mean, football, what are we going to do? Just pay millions and hundreds of millions of pounds for average players? And then how is it going to survive in Championship football and these lower Premier League teams? I mean, my team, Leicester, our transfer record is about £9 million, £10 million, whatever the Kramrich fee was. And to pay £50 million, people can't compete with that if this is what clubs are asking for. People won't be able to compete. Yes, obviously, it's Man City and they've got massive backing and they can pay what they want, but it will ruin football if these players of such average quality get paid so much for. I mean, look at players. Is he any better than Scott Sinclair was when he joined Man City? Arguably, because he plays in a more team who's more in the public eye like Liverpool. People think he is. I don't think he's that much better. For England, he's never played brilliantly. He's shone it in times in the World Cup. He was our best player, but what's that saying? The rest of the team were useless, so he's the best of a bad bunch. Yes, we know he can dribble, his footwork's good, but for Brendan Rodgers to say he's one of the most gifted young players in Europe is a farce. I mean, at 21 years of age, to pay £50 million for a player, you have to have achieved something. You have to have put a mark on to think, what a signing that is, £50 million. Is Raheem Sterling any better than David Silva, who they've already got there? Is he better than these players who can play on the wing for Man City? I doubt he's too much better. And £50 million, they could have got so many better players for £50 million. Konoplyanka, Yarmolenko, 2 great Ukrainian players who apparently Liverpool were after last summer. It was Yarmolenko and Konoplyanka, another great young Ukrainian. Much better than Sterling. They're young and they've proven themselves in the Europa League for Ukraine. A lot of goals and caps already. So you can't be paying this kind of money when you can get people for so much better. It's just because he's English that he seems to command this fee, but people find it acceptable. I mean, let's look in the broad life day. It's £50 million. I know now in football we've become accustomed to these numbers, but £50 million 5-10 years ago would have been a massive fee. I mean, this is above Zidane, Figo, these unbelievably world-class talents, and to pay £50 million now for Raheem Sterling, it just blows my mind. You can tell I'm irate because I just don't think he deserves it. And for him to be on £180,000 a week, apparently, I just don't understand football, how that can happen. How someone can have a few good seasons at a club, not even great seasons, average to good seasons, and suddenly go for £50 million. I mean, there are players last season who had far better seasons than Sterling, who would command nowhere near the fee. I mean, sure, even if Harry Kane went, Harry Kane is 21-year-old, he wouldn't go for as much as Raheem Sterling, and we can all see Harry Kane was better last season. So I'm not sure what it is in football that these players get this massive hype around, oh, Raheem Sterling's brilliant, and some people haven't even seen him play much, say, oh yeah, Raheem Sterling, great player, and we jump on this bandwagon of supporting these young players, mostly English, and saying, oh, they're brilliant. I mean, a key example again, Lacazette, who Arsenal are linked with. You see all the Arsenal fans on Twitter, oh, Lacazette, great striker, brilliant. Yeah, he was great last season for Lyon. How much did they watch him though, really? I mean, he's on BT Sport 2-3 times a season for Lyon when they play against the big teams, and if they saw those games, Lacazette doesn't score against the big teams. He didn't score against PSG, he didn't score against Marseille, he didn't score against Monaco, so they can't have seen too much of him, unless, yes, they watch Eurogoals, but I can't imagine 50,000 people watch Eurogoals and notice Alexandre Lacazette. And Raheem Sterling's like that. He's one of these players who gets built up as this great talent, but he doesn't deserve to be yet. Yes, I might be wrong. In a few years he might come good. I hope he does as an England fan. I hope he becomes a great player, but we've seen it too many times before with players command this massive fee, and even Man City especially. Obviously it draws great comparison to young English players like Sinclair joining Man City, Jack Rodwell, these players who were picked from their teams and put into the Man City side and never developed. And I mean, look at them now. Sinclair is at Aston Villa. Michael Richards, you could say, he's now at Aston Villa. And they've never really developed. Jack Rodwell went to Sunderland, so they never grew from the club they went to. I mean, Jack Rodwell was at Everton before, he's at Sunderland now. That's a complete step back in his career, you'd say. So Sterling could end up at one of these clubs in a few years. You just don't know. I just don't think it's a fee that I can accept as a football fan, that someone could pay £49 million for Raheem Sterling. It's a fee that is a bit of a joke, really, in terms of football, and it worries me on how much transfer fees will become if we're paying £50 million for mediocre players. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll see you again tomorrow for another daily upload. Please like the video, leave your comments below and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.